consultant, weightlifter, boss, not all at once. And some would say gifted, talented, multi-talented, polymath. But let's get away from what I say about myself. It took me a long time in life to figure out how I learn. Because once upon a time, in a universe very close to our own, my learning went something like this. I don't get this. I'm never going to get... How come they get it? I'm smart. Oh, maybe if you... What do you mean carry the two? Oh, this is impossible. Wait. Unless... And then if you carry them... Got it. Got it. Ask my parents, they'll tell you. Everything I've ever learned in life went like that until I figured out the system behind that skill. Everything. From riding a bike to swimming. But it took a lot of writing and introspection to actually figure out that's how I learn. Once I get something, I've got it. I'll give you a perfect example. Swimming. The first time I went swimming, my babysitter's son strapped me into my water wings, picked me up, because I was still quite portable back then, and threw me in the deep end! Splash! Oh. Swim! Naturally, this made me slightly traumatized by water. Thankfully, my parents had the good grace to take me for swimming lessons to the local YMCA, of which I'm still a member. Our first lesson: get in the water, put your mouth in the water, and just... Who else remembers doing this? Motorboat, blow bubbles. Lesson 1, blowing bubbles. Lesson 2, we're not moving around in the water yet. We're just getting used to it. Hold on to the edge and just kick and kick and kick some more. Get used to kicking and floating in the water. Floating and kicking. Lesson 3. We're getting into advanced material now. We're letting go of the wall. The lifeguard handed me a flutterboard and said, what I want you to do... That's my best female accent, I'm sorry. What I want you to do is swim 3 meters that way and then back to me. Okay, I can try. I hung on to that flutterboard for dear life. I dare not let it go. That water was all of 3 feet. It was threatening. But I kicked off that wall and swam 3 meters. Got to the lifeguard. Great. Now swim back. And I swam back to the edge. Lesson 3, using the flutterboard and swimming 3 meters. Lesson 4, swimming 6 meters. Lesson 5, swimming 9 meters. See the skill stack growing? Lesson 6, swimming 12 meters. Lesson 7, this one's heavy. Lift with your legs, you'll keep your back in good shape. We're gonna ditch the flutterboard. My fear of drowning, let's make no mistake, my fear of drowning, still here. Still here. But my skill set had developed enough to get over that fear, to know that I could overcome it. There was one more area in learning that I didn't figure out until probably the last 2 years. For the longest time, I thought my skills were either I get it or I don't. Black or white, 0 or 1. Either I get the skill or don't. And it just seemed like random chance if I would figure out the system. Then, through extensive writing, I figured out that anytime I tried to jump into a new skill and tackle it head on and try to accomplish everything at once, no way. End in anger, frustration, don't get it, completely screwed. But when I celebrated those incremental successes, the blowing bubbles, the kicking on the wall, the swimming 3 meters, 6 meters, 9 meters, that was my overarching system of learning. I learned how to celebrate the early wins. If you saw on the MoMondays Aurora site, the title of my talk is Unhandled Exception. Let's address what that is. Who here in the room is a programmer? Just me. Okay, good. It might not look like it because I've showered in the last century. But an unhandled exception is when an app or a program on your computer crashes. Ever had that happen? You know what I'm talking about. Unhandled exception. One way some programmers write code is to write their code, watch it throw unhandled exceptions, and fix them one at a time. Sound familiar to how I learn? I was handling the unhandled exceptions one at a time. And I learned the importance of celebrating those early wins. Instead of saying, I'll never figure this out, saying, how can I figure this out? One recent use of this was playing the ukulele. Michelle, your happy birthday message was me having played the ukulele for 10 minutes. I can play 3, maybe 4 chords. I'd still call that playing the ukulele, especially compared to someone who can't play the ukulele. I'll take it. And that's what changed my thinking, was instead of saying, I'll never get this, try, how can I get this? How can I understand this? That's how my life truly transformed. From hating water to using it as an escape. From not being a math person to sitting down and, I kid you not, doing calculus for fun. Went from not being athletic and being 100 pounds overweight because I have cerebral palsy and my doctor said I can't do that, to not only taking weight training classes for months, but just recently having the heaviest bar of anyone in the entire class, even the instructor. Basically gone from loathing what I do to loving myself. And that was because I've learned to love the unhandled exceptions. It has been an honor and a privilege to share the stage with you this evening. I return to you, Brendan.